Now, my last video was kind of liked about the community because I compared two completely different shows. So, be Villainous and Hazbin Hotel, how similar they are, and how fans cannot stop comparing them because they're such alike. And I decided to continue that specific video on focusing on one character each side and compare them, but also compare how different they actually are. And today's subject matter will be Missy and Velvette. These two characters are very similar, but to be fair, they have another character equally as similar as Velvette would be Veronica. That be more sense Veronica and Missy be compared. But the more I can think about it, Missy has her own double in his own universe called Miss Vadoon, who acts very similar to Velvette, or Veronica, in other words. You have to say, okay, let's start just with Missy and Velvette instead, and later on start comparing other characters or other different videos in the near future. For right now, let's get started with Velvette and Missy, the similarities and difference of both characters. Now, before I get started, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, the reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine. If you do, thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And yes, I'm getting close every single day because of people like you. People put like, comment, and share. Thank you. Now let's continue of this sort of comparison of Velvette and Missy, the similarities and differences of both characters. Now let's get started. Now, interesting enough, why do I start with Velvette and Missy? Should be better be Missy and Veronica instead, because they basically do the same function, but I keep thinking about it. No, I think Velvette does a better function with Missy because they do a lot of similarities, but yet how different they are makes so better compelling video, at least in my opinion. Of course, I will actually compare Veronica and Missy a later future video in probably a couple of weeks, but all of that, the reason why I feel is because their similarity is just so strong. I think one of the big examples, both characters are entertainers. Both characters are influencers. Both characters want actually people to look at them, to have their attention. Both characters are very toxic because they have this sort of manipulative way to talk people to control them. Feel that you need me, that more I need you, but actually that's not true. And that's the thing that makes these two characters so similar. Little things like that, you can't see why fans can never stop comparing them because it's just sort of there. But yet they're so different because at the very end the motivations are different. For example, Missy has this sort of egoism that she needs to feed, but it sort of leads her your own theories or speculations of why Missy wants people attention. It's because she doesn't have because of her own family. Maybe she doesn't understand how people care about each other because how we are on the internet sort of all the time, and you think this is the only way to get your attention. There's also other questions is the fact how far should you ever go to get more fame and power to compare to Velvette. But Velvette does it completely different motivation. She does it because she wants power, but at the same time, she doesn't really know how to hand-to-hand combat. It's sort of obvious she needs to survive. That's why she wants more attention, more people talk to her, because that's her power. She really does need it to survive the world she lives in. To compare to Missy, she doesn't really need the attention or power to survive because it hinted at she probably could be rich or be protected by someone else. But compared to Velvette, that she doesn't. She needs to be powerful to protect herself because at the very end, next day she'd probably be killed of what type of universe she really is. But at the same time, she's super young and naive and she thinks she has everything under her hands and act whatever she wanted because at the very end, she got backings from the V's. They have equally in power, but at the same time, each one of them are dangerous. But that you don't know how dangerous really are. She's cocky, but never show show how dangerous really is, how physical she really could be. She's more psychological than anything else. And I think there's a reason why they compare it to Miss Seed as often, because Miss Seed technically doesn't know how to fight hand to hand. She has a habit of controlling people, using her sort of special potion to manipulate it and use them as slaves, and sort of convincing her to protect her and control a whole city, a whole universe. But at the same time, that can easily be broken, as similar is Velvette, because her power is just sort of manipulating and connecting people, and that's basically it. The show never really goes of that sort of extent. You can actually assume or theorize maybe she can actually fight, or maybe she can't, that she use her friends or her basically partners to protect her, that she not needed to fight hand to hand. Of course, I could be wrong because I do not have a strong memory. Please comment down below if I sort of misunderstood a specific character trait. Now, besides that, both of them are still very interesting, very similar, but yet you can tell some of the different elements downwards. And I think one of the biggest thing is Missy is obsessed to be in love. Obsessed. She need it. It's almost like a drug to her. The vet never shows that much she loves the power, but yet you don't know this is sort of the addiction of power, or sort of a delusion, or that she can never be touched, even that she does know sooner or later the V's will fall down and she had to make another partnership to protect herself, because obvious she only can defend just a little bit by herself. She needs the backing of the V's. And I think that's one of the biggest differences of Miss Seed and Velvette, because both of them need someone to protect them. Both of them can manipulate, but at the same time, you don't know they actually can fight. It's just smoke and mirrors, or they actually, when they take off the gloves, they actually can fight. And that's just sort of all on the air. You can't really don't know, because at the very end, both of them are BSers. They say a lot of things, but you don't know can actually pull it off. And that's just sort of very interesting, but at the same time, it could be just for a little while to have the chance to show it how dangerous they could be. But the main weapon of both of them are just sort of influencing people to do sort of things because they say so. But the question is, who has more control of their own bestie people? I have to say Miss Seed, because quite literally she has a zombie of a fan base who do anything for her, but of course she cannot show true affection because the spell could be broken, because how close and connected emotionally they actually are. Velvette doesn't really need that much. She has more freedom to do whatever or ask for help however she wants, but we don't know the extent, because Miss Seed extent is completely tight. They can have normal regular lives, her fans, her zombies, but they have to retrieve herself the same potion again and again, so Missy still have control till they stop or run out of that specific chemical to use of them to actually control Missy off you. In other words, Velvette is just sort of the internet, social media, and that's it. Her extent is sort of kind of low, but other than that, it's just sort of very interesting. I mean, now I think one of the most interesting thing, how both characters are kind of lonely, especially Miss Seed, because you actually think about it, she is completely alone. She does not really have a relationship to compare to Velvette, that she actually have a backing up partners. She has the V's who willing to talk to her, know her, has a relationship with her, to compare to Miss Seed, that she doesn't really have a connection to no one, only maybe Dr. Flood and probably Golden Heart, even that we don't know the relationship. It's almost completely lonely with Miss Seed to compare to Velvette, that she is actually have people around her. People want to know her input. People who actually trust her, but at the same time kind of hate her. But yet you understand they actually have a sort of relationship in a way. Not compared to Miss C, she doesn't. And I think that's sort of interesting. There's different ways to execute a very similar archetype like Miss C and Velvette, and yet get different results depending of what type of character story are you actually writing. Because Miss C is almost about being influencer, but without understanding the relationship, understanding you have no friends or allies, just business partners and admirers, but never truly a relationship. To compare to Velvette, because the very end she does have partners, but it doesn't apply. They have more in just a business relationship. You could say they're friends or business friends in a way, but the relationship is still there. She does have a connection. She is not completely lonely. Of course, she's very cocky, but remove everything, she still have the V's because they need her. Of course, you could say her relationship are basically just we have the same goal type of thing. But at the very end, it's still there. To compare to Miss Seat, she doesn't have anyone. The only one is probably Peace, her parents, maybe, but even that, it's just sort of a question. Do they actually care or just using her because she has a little bit of power? And that's just sort of fascinating. I mean, this is the best way to basically make them so different because at the very end, how the story needs them to be used in the main plot. And you can see very well the huge differences. But at the same time, they do have different genres. Like Miss C is sort of a heroine or be popular in the hero society to compare to Velvette fall into sort of the sinner sort of archetype, the ones who have to communicate, show you how horrific and powerful she really is. And it goes completely different direction because once again, different sort of types of stories. They're not in the both same superhero or sinners or demons sort of scenario. They have to go different directions because how they built in the story and how they actually executed. Of course, I'm sort of fascinating what else they actually be similar and different because I know I may hit almost every check mark, but I know I'm missing few things. Please tell me down below, what do I actually miss? Honestly, I think that's all a comparison and difference they actually have, but I know they have more. But this is sort of a conversation piece, and tell me down below what you think. Do I miss? They're not similar. Tell me. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.